What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the high-grade Gundam Ground Urban Combat type from Gundam Breaker Battlogue. Based on the American local type Gundam colors, it serves as the grim exam invigilator among the 4 kings of Barbataurus. Okay, so evidently, as a color variant, this comes with everything the original high-grade Ground Gundam Revive has, along with one extra runner of new parts, and of course new stickers and decals. Now, I've never built the original before, so my experiences with this kit are fresh, and it's just your typical high-grade build with some odd bits of construction from the late 2010s this kit has to live with, while otherwise being identical to the original. But do mind the dark plastics, as they can easily mark if not careful. And since I've never reviewed the original before, this will be a full review of the kit, so buckle up. Though I would like to immediately address the differences between this and the original, and that is the shoulders. Yes, they are visually identical to the original, but the ball joint is enlarged to conform with the universal standards, along with new shoulder sockets to go with them. You see, for some odd reason, Bandai decided to shrink the shoulder ball joints and provide unique sockets when making the original kit, even though they already have the polycaps for the universal standard. So of course 2021 Bandai has to clean up their mess, which means you have the old shoulders and sockets left over. On top of that, an extension adapter is included for kits or backpacks that have stuff poking out to be more easily cross-compatible. It's not necessarily redundant, but it's very situationally useful. And with that out of the way, let's get into the actual aesthetics. Now here it is without the decals, and frankly it looks rather dull, such as the design of the North American local Gundam color scheme. I guess it does serve its function of camouflage as it completely blends in with the black background like this. Although it is a shame you cannot be part of the 80,085th Mobile Suit team, applying the orange decals does definitely make the Urban Ground Gundam pop. Although the process is quite challenging, as the original parts has no molding to indicate where the stripes should go. There's not much to say in the engineering department, as it's just a copy of the original Ground Gundam, so nothing could really go wrong with the proportions, while I can't find any glaring seam lines and the color choices match the local American Gundam. I also like the exam mode eyes and sensors compared to the normal ones, as they can pop out more from the charcoal and orange color scheme. On a related note, the triangles on the chest, shins, and backpack don't look too bad, but the V on the crotch definitely needs painting, as the sticker is hard to apply nicely. Apart from that, panel lines are only needed on the light parts of this 13cm tall kit, though if the straight build isn't enough for you, chipping and denting effects are always options. For articulation, head movement is rather limited because of its design and color, so you'd have to force the double neck joint or avoid that risk altogether. Arms can swing out fairly well, roll, and rotate in their tight sockets. There's a perpendicular arm raise, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and ball socket wrists. The torso can pull off some decent crunches, but the armor piece is free hanging and can get caught when you're trying to put it back, and the ball joint in the torso is frustratingly weak. Waist rotation is also somewhat limited. Front and side steers can move, while the basket is stationary. The legs can do the funky dance, perform poor rear kicks, but full front kicks and side splits. There's a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, swiveling ankle armor, multi-jointed feet that has a wide range of movement, and a moving toe. And the clips on the backpack can open up, on top of the bottom ones extending downwards for the weapon container. Articulation is fairly standard, so you can get a decent amount of poses from it, though the plastic on plastic joints is gonna weaken over time, and that torso construction only helps in ruining the fun of posing it. For hand options, the Urban Ground Gundam has the standard holding hands, a right trigger finger hand, and a left open palm. Weapon-wise, the beam rifle is your standard affair with an orange scope sticker, featuring a movable foregrip, great color separation, and no weight issues in the trigger finger hand. Secondly, the beam sabers are stored in the shins and can easily be removed for use with the included SP13 beams. The storage mechanic is also a neat one, as it does function fully and works just fine for drawing poses. Thirdly, the shield has 2 decals for the orange stripes, but entirely color separated otherwise. It plugs onto the arm with a questionable sturdiness and can be used to defend the Gundam. Additionally, the shield can be adjusted with a swivel to get out of the way of movement, and hinge forward on the double joints for use as a punching handguard. Otherwise, the kickstand can deploy for the shield to serve as freestanding defense, or a stabilizer for the 180mm cannon, which is fully brown and features a foldable foregrip. Despite its size, it can still be held with the trigger finger hand quite solidly in one arm, though the trigger finger hand's looseness does make two-handed poses a bit of a faff, especially if you want to use the top handle. The cannon can also be broken down into 5 components and stored inside the weapon container with an adapter, while the ammo clip is stored on the hatch. I personally like this gimmick, though it does make the Ground Gundam very back heavy, and the container isn't really held onto the back by the most solid of attachments. Finally, the machine gun comes in all brown with a separate ammo cartridge, a folding foregrip, and folding stock. Simply slide it into the standard hands for use with no weight issues. Additionally, extra ammo packs are stored on the side skirts so you can fully reenact the reloading action if you so choose. It's kind of a shame, however, that this kit doesn't come with the rocket and missile launchers, despite them having been used in the anime, and for both weapons to be molded onto the same runner on the Ground Gundam parachute pack. In conclusion, the high-grade Urban Ground Gundam is a suit yourself. Personally, if I wasn't a reviewer or an avid collector, I would seriously pass on this kit. No, it's not a bad kit by any means, but there is just no reason to go after this version if one doesn't care about the colors. Yes, it's a decent kit armed to the teeth with weapons and painted into a color scheme some might prefer to the original tri-colors, but universal compatibility and that extra adapter is not enough of a reason to forgo the normal version. Maybe the extra runner of weapons from the parachute Ground Gundam might incentivize me more, but alas. Moreover, the looseness of the torso ball joints and the trigger finger hand makes the posing experience bloody frustrating. In the end, the Urban Ground Gundam is an alright kit, but I don't feel particularly fond of it, so it all comes down to subjective perspectives and tastes. And that's all for me. Drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.